There's going to be days that you notice that you're not getting any good Spark orders. And there's times as well for myself where I end up sitting so long with so much downtime that I end up wanting to take something that isn't even worth it just to make something happen, at least to make some money. The first biggest thing that I have noticed is going to be the busy graph that they show you on the Spark app. This graph, just like many other apps, is a complete lie. You need to know your actual area and which store you're going to be at to know if that store is going to be busy, especially at the times you're going to be working. You also need to factor in holidays, any type of bad weather that's happening. Those are two big things that are going to help you make a lot more money than your average week. If you're having a bad rainy week, you should want to get out there like that. If you want to make a lot of money, a lot of people aren't going to want to deliver, so there's going to be a lot of drivers that won't. But there's also going to be a lot more orders because people don't want to go out. They'd rather just have their stuff delivered. That's the reason why, too, Uber and DoorDash, on those days especially, people make a lot of money as well. The term they use for this is going to be storm chasing. They do the same thing with Amazon Flex as well. When it's really bad with snow outside or a lot of ice, too, the surge rates go up really high for these routes. And when you know a lot of drivers aren't going to want to drive in that, but Amazon still wants these packages delivered because they're not closing, you wait till the last possible second to get the highest rate possible and then take the route. But you're going to need to realize that there is risk that comes with this. Obviously, driving in the worst weather possible out there is going to be pretty risky and you have to be very careful. The amount of times I've noticed on Walmart Spark that the graph seems like it's at its max value and I don't end up getting anything good. From my experience, I end up getting my highest paying orders in the really early morning. So this was anywhere from 5:30 in the morning till 7 in the morning. Now from 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning, I want to say, is where you're going to get those first 6 a.m. because that's when the Walmart opens around me. Now these 6 a.m. shop and delivers are going to be really good pay because they didn't make it out the day prior. And they really want to try to meet that promise time as fast as they possibly can because they already missed it. So they want the customer to come back. Also, something I have noticed is many times they're also giving you one shop and deliver. Now the typical normal order that you're getting on these shop and delivers is to shop for 2 people. These orders could take longer and you're going to have to be careful to make sure to keep organizing the stuff, keeping the items separated so that you don't mix them up later. If you do end up getting an order that maybe not might be the best pay but is for one shop and deliver, and let's say for $30 to $40 in the morning, that's a great way to start the day. I personally have seen them for like $60 in the morning, especially with the tips that people have put on. Even if you can't work the whole morning out, if you could get up at that time just to do 1 or 2 orders in that section of time, you're going to make out really well, I think. In the morning on the weekends is going to be, I think, that sweet spot for everybody. However, I also ended up getting one of my biggest orders from Sam's Club at around 7:30 in the morning as well. So also keep that in mind. And if you have a Walmart that's also near a Sam's Club in your zone, you might want to consider going to that one as well. The Sam's Club orders should not be slept on, especially because these orders could be a lot of money in value and they're tipping by the percentage at times. You do have to be prepared though because the orders are going to be heavier, so if you have a cart, you're in great shape. How do metrics end up playing a part in how you receive orders? When it comes to metrics, you're not going to see much of a difference when it comes to Walmart Spark. As for other apps like Instacart, they're trying to use these metrics to decide who gets the order. And metrics that are heavily considered is going to be your shop rate, how much you're returning, how fast you're able to find items that are on the customer list. Personally though, I don't think your metrics are mattering right now on Walmart Spark, but I think eventually they will, especially with the competition and the competitiveness in these zones with the amount of drivers they have. The big metric that I have personally noticed is going to be the proximity. For me, I'm not going to get any good orders if I'm at home just looking for an order on Spark. I have to be close to the Walmart or a Walmart and by the drop times as well at that time in order to get the just for you orders from me. For other people, they might live closer than I do to the Walmart. They also might just not have as many drivers, so they're sending out orders to people, even if they're far away. Walmart Spark doesn't have a tier list, so you don't have to worry about doing a certain amount of orders a month in order to be in some bracket so that you could get high priority orders. It really just depends on your proximity to the store, and I noticed that's how you get the best possible paying orders. The most controversial thing that is talked about is going to be tip baiting, and this is across all gig apps. You need to not think about tip baiting when you're doing any of these apps. I understand that if the tip is over $100, you definitely have to consider it, especially if these these orders are going to take you over an hour just to shop it, even 2 hours to shop it. You shouldn't think that tip baiting is a normal thing that happens in everyday practice of doing this type of work. I feel that there's so many people out there that show screenshots of them getting tip baited, having bad experiences with customers, and it ends up putting them off on taking specific orders. I urge you to not think about that too much because there's not that many bad people in this world. Personally, I haven't been tip baited like that. I have had it happen, but it's a very rare occurrence thing, and I don't want people to think and normalize it as if it's out there always ready to happen every single day. Don't make tip baiting something that ends up preventing you from taking certain orders. Give the orders a try, and if you end up getting tip baited, what many people do is write down or keep the customer or the address information that they delivered to. That might be a controversial thing, but if you're working in the same zone every single day, you don't want to take that customer's order again because they might take that tip away from you again. And this is a common practice that happens between drivers because when you're working from one Walmart, that customer is going to order from there again. If an app like DoorDash doesn't allow you to change the tip after it was delivered, I think most of these apps shouldn't. Even Uber allows you to change the tip as well. This would be a great update because we really don't want to see the tips go down. I mean, once you tip, that should just be what it is. With the percentage of customers that try to change the tip to higher it versus the amount of customers that will change the tip to try to lower it, it's just a better idea to have it so that it's not changeable. It's better to just have people tip what they think is going to be good for the service that they need, and that is it. Even if the tips now end up coming out lower because the customers don't know how their service is going to be, I think that's okay. I think people should just tip what they're comfortable with tipping, but I believe that the driver should know exactly what they're taking. I don't believe, just like many drivers, that amount should change after. I think that if the service ends up becoming very bad, that should obviously be taken care of from Walmart. Now, something many people don't end up considering is changing their zone to go somewhere farther that is way less competitive with drivers. If you're having problems making money with Walmart Spark, I guarantee the primary problem you're having is the amount of drivers that are in your zone. I have found success moving zones some days because there's just so many drivers. Even with the Walmart that I went to, there were at least 5 to 10 Spark drivers just doing shop and delivers inside of that Walmart. It is a very busy Walmart, but for the amount of drivers that's there versus the amount of orders that there is to actually take, if you're finding yourself not getting consistent orders throughout the day or the pay on the orders is just really bad, meaning it's very low, I personally recommend that you try other zones out or go to other Walmarts. Even if you end up having to drive a little farther out than you feel comfortable with, that's okay. Changing your zone could also lead to a lot better opportunity, a lot better earnings, and it might help you finish your goal a lot sooner in the day. The best times I think to switch your zones to try different ones is going to be the weekends, but you do have to consider the weekends are going to be the busiest days of the week. The mid-afternoons also are very big on the weekends as well, so you do want to be out there at that time too, if you can, obviously. If you guys have any more tips for me, please leave them down below in the comments. Thank you all so much for constantly showing me love and support, and thank you so much for all the people that have been subscribing recently. It really means the world to me. My recent videos have been getting so much love. They've been getting around almost 100 likes each video, so thank you to each and every single one of you. To the next route.